Hello and welcome to Breath. We are going to talk about the diaphragm and where it is and what it does and the impact on the health of the body because of this beautiful muscle moving all the time with each breath we take. We breathe about 17,000 times a day in a 24-hour period. It's the most basic thing we do, isn't it? So if we can just do it even just a little bit better with better mechanics, we can really impact the general health and well-being of our body. It helps, all the cells of the body have oxygen. So if we can even make that system work a little bit better, we're going to have more health, aren't we? More vitality in our body. That's the principle of what we're talking about today. The diaphragm muscle is big, okay? You can think of it as a corset up around this area, kind of your lower chest and upper abdomen. It attaches onto the lower 6 ribs, which are here, and it also is all the way up. It's a dome shape, so it's all the way up to this area here and all the way down to our 12th rib down here. It also even attaches onto vertebrae in your sort of mid to lower back. All right, so it's a big deal. The better that moves, the better we breathe. Now, sometimes, things can be moving really great on one side and then the other side is not moving as well. So you want to make sure everything's even, and you can think about that when you're breathing, and you can help that shift. And you can start to feel that once you get more in tune with what's going on in your body. Now, one of the things the diaphragm does, and how an osteopath would think of the diaphragm, is it's got really important vessels going through it. It's got the abdominal aorta, which has got all this blood going to the body from the heart, and then it's got your inferior vena cava, which goes up and pokes through the diaphragm into the heart with all the deoxygenated blood from lots of the parts of the body. And so because of these vessels that are so full of fluid, when they're poking through the diaphragm, if you can imagine, if you had constant tension in that diaphragm, it would affect those vessels and how well that fluid's moving. That's how an osteopath thinks. Now, another important structure that goes through the diaphragm is the vagus nerve, our famous vagus nerve. It pokes through the diaphragm as well. And again, it's just one more area where if we have tons of tension there, it's going to be a little compressed, and we believe that, it can hinder function. And so we believe that structure governs function. And so if I have a ton of tension in a structure, we believe that it will hinder function. The body loves to move. We can feel that when we're moving and we feel flexible and we're exercising, you can feel the body functioning better. So that's the theory. Now, as well, you've got with that less tension on those vessels, there's better fluid exchange. So the diaphragm really pumps fluid. Okay, it helps to do that. Another thing the diaphragm does is that it has organs attached to it, directly to it. Our colon is attached to it on 2 sides, one in each corner here. We've got our big old liver attached to the back of it on this right side. Your liver's huge, it's right here. And then your spleen's on the other side, just tucked in. It's maybe not directly attached to it, but it's tucked in that little dome area on the left. And as well, then we've got the esophagus coming down and poking through the diaphragm. It's another structure that goes right through the diaphragm. And you've got your stomach right there. So anyone experiencing something like acid reflux, GERD, same thing, the thing that opens and closes that flap, it's called the cardiac sphincter right here, of the food going from your esophagus into your stomach, there's a flap, and a sphincter. And what happens is this sphincter opens and closes with the motion of the diaphragm. So if you're someone or know someone who experiences that symptom, just bringing more awareness to your breath could potentially help encourage better function there. Now, as well, the heart and lungs are sitting on top, obviously. This is our heart and our lungs. Now, so when the diaphragm is moving beautifully up and down with breath, then guess what? So are those organs. Yay! And again, we believe that the better things move, the better things function. So you can see how your general well-being could feel a lot better just by having better breathing mechanics. Yay! Now, another really neat thing about the diaphragm is we believe it's not the only one. So a diaphragm is defined in my world as a structure that's horizontal across the body that goes up and down. Now, what else does that? Pelvic floor. It's made up of 9 muscles. Again, it's a sling going the other way. So the diaphragm's up here like a dome, and our pelvic floor is like a little sling going this way. And it goes up and down as well in time with the diaphragm. And then we have better fluid movement. Yes, and pressure system. It's in charge of our pressure system. And as well, we've got, doesn't matter, tentorium cerebelli, which is a piece of dura, big words, doesn't matter, going across around this region in your head. Goes horizontal structure going up and down. This structure, and our pelvic floor, we want them all going up and down together. So that's something that can really be helped. You know, maybe someone gets those pressure headaches from the weather. Maybe they really can focus on diaphragm work and help change that. That's how I think. And now, so the diaphragm's really important to maintaining really good pressure in all these different areas. The pressures in our head, the pressures in our chest, the pressures in our abdomen, all that kind of thing. So it's a pretty amazing muscle that does a lot for our health and wellness. So I hope that's helpful to understand and motivate you to start doing better breathing techniques and practicing. It takes practice, right? So once you know the anatomy and know a little bit of the physiology and why it's so important, then voila, it can be more helpful. That is our module on the amazing diaphragm.